Today I'll be talking about the Casio Scientific Calculator as a mathematical instrument. So what I have here is two different Casio calculator on the table, but I'll be using this one for the explanation. So when you see your Casio Scientific Calculator, you can see a lot of things on it, symbols, letters, functions on it. So and this Casio Scientific Calculator is very complex, and this is one of the reasons why people find difficult to use. But I do tell people that the complexity of this calculator is due to the fact that it has a lot of functions. It can help you in a lot of ways and do a lot of work and calculations. Hence the complexity of the Casio Scientific Calculator. So the question is, why do you really need to watch this video, or why do you need to learn about the Casio Scientific Calculator? I will tell you the reason. The reason why you need to learn about the Casio Scientific Calculator, or you need to know about the Casio Scientific Calculator or watch this video, is because sometimes you might find yourself in a situation like maybe a test or an exam, and then you see a question, you don't know it, you don't know how to solve it, or you don't know how to go about it, and then you become stranded, and then you lose that mark for that question. Or probably you solve an answer, or you solve a question and you are not sure for the answer. So you can just use the Casio Scientific Calculator to confirm if your answer is right or wrong. But is that really the paramount value why you need to learn this? No, I don't think so. But I will tell you the main reason why you need to learn it. Sometimes in a CBT exam or CBE exam, you might be given 60 questions, 40 questions, 30 questions for you to solve under 10 to 15 minutes. And if you should look at those questions, where some of them are going to take more than 5 minutes for you to get the right answer, and some of them you don't even know the answer. So what are you going to do under such condition? That is where the Casio Scientific Calculator come in. It helps you to be fast with your work, because sometimes you don't even need to solve some of your questions. All you just need to do is just to enter it straight. Every day you know the formula or not, and to just give you your answer directly. And you finish your work on time. But imagine a situation whereby you are given like 30 to 40 to 50 questions for you to solve under 10 to 15 minutes. So before you say you should solve, or before you are done with your solving, definitely your time will just elapse. Maybe out of those 30, 40, 50 questions, you are able to solve 10 out of it. Then definitely you have failed that test or an exam. So this is one of the reasons I decided to make this video, especially for my course mates in Ambuzali University, Ekpoma, Edo State. So I'll be starting with the buttons on it. So the first thing you need to do is you click the on button, which is here. Then when you click it, you can see by the left of it, there's something ticking there, like a ticking bomb. So this shows that the calculator is functioning well and is fully on. So when you do that, the next thing you need to know about the Casio Scientific Calculator is that the Casio Scientific Calculator have upper and lower buttons. The upper buttons, I call them the logical buttons, and lower buttons, I call them the numerical buttons. So if you look at the upper buttons, they are full of letters and symbols. Hence the reason why I call them the logical buttons. But if you look downwards, you see a lot of numerical values, a lot of numbers. Hence the reason why I call it numerical side of the calculator. So after knowing this, the next thing you need to know is these first two buttons here. The first one is called the shift, while the second one is called the alpha. So if you don't really know what these two buttons for, I will explain to you today. If you look at the frame of your calculator very well, that is at the top of each of your symbols, letters or numbers, you see some things written on yellow green, and what, red color. So the shift button is used to what, access the yellow what functions, while the what, red button, which is what, the alpha, is used to what, access what, the red colors. So this is what you use what, the shift and alpha button for, and I'm going to what, perform what, a lot of functions on it later. So let's move to what, the next one. The next one is what, the replay button. The replay button is just like, let me just say, your cursor or your navigation button on your screen or your computer, which helps you to what, move what, backward, forward, upward, or downward in what, in your calculator. So I don't need to explain much on that. Then the next button, which is what, the most important button in the calculator, is the mode button. This one particular one here. This mode button is very essential, and it's what, the most what, delicate what, button on a calculator, on a Casio Scientific Calculator. If you don't understand the function of this button, you will not be able to what, for you to perform what, simple arithmetic in your calculator. You will not be able, due to what, you do not know what the mode you set your calculator to, or the mode you need to what, set your calculator to. This is one of the reasons why I told you that you don't just need to what, go and learn shortcut, but you also need to what, understand what, how the buttons function. So this mode button you're seeing here will determine what, the calculation you're going to solve, what you're going to input, or the kind of things you can what, solve at that moment, at that time. This mode button here have what, two functions. The first one is to what, determine the mode or the kind of calculation you're going to solve, and the second function is what, it helps you to what, set your answers in what, in the way you need it. Sometimes they might ask you to what, put your answer in what, 3 to 4 what, significant figures, or to 3 decimal or 4 decimal places, and sometimes that might be time consuming, or sometimes due to what, the tension in the exam or the exam pressure on you, you might start making mistakes in such what, in such things, or trying to convert from what, one particular answer to the other. But with this setup button, the mode button here, you can easily just what, set what, your answer, and immediately just type it. You just give it what, the answer, every to 3 significant figures. Your answer will just round up itself to 3 significant figures without you what, wasting your time or trying to what, round up for your own, leading to what, errors and time what, consumption. So these two functions of this mode button are what, very important. Like I told you before, the mode button is what, the most important button in Casio calculator. Then how do you use this what, mode button for those two calculations? If you click the mode button direct, it will take you to what, the mode setup, where you choose what, the kind of calculations or the kind of topic you want to work on. But how do you go to the mode setup? Here you set what, how you want your answers to look like. If you want to do that, you just click the shift button and click the mode button, and it take you to what, the setup. Here you what, set up what, your answers, or how you want your answers to what, look like. So let's look at the mode button. Let's see how it look like. Now I've clicked the mode button. You can see that the mode button have what, have different functions, about 8 of them. Yes, 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all of them are all what, numbered. The first one here is used for what, simple arithmetics, which doesn't mean what, have to do with what, more complex issues or logics on it. So you can just click what, 1 if you are just here for what, doing your simple arithmetics. Then the second function here, which is number 2, which is written CMPLESC, is for what, complex numbers. Complex numbers are numbers with real and imaginary number I. So when you are working on complex number, or when you want to use a calculator to solve complex numbers, you choose what, the second one called what, the complex what, number. Then the third one, which is STAT, stats, is a short form for what, statistics. This number 3 mode, you use it to what, solve what, your statistical equations, like your mean, standard deviation, summation S, variables in what, in statistics. That's what you use what, the third one for. And the fourth one, which is what, number 4, You can see the variable base n on 8 is used to what? Solve what? Number bases, like your binary numbers, hexadecimal numbers, octa. Like if you want to work on base binary, all these kind of numbers, use what? You choose the fourth mode. The fifth one is EQN, which stand for what? Equations. Like this EQN stand for equations having what? Variables, s, y, or any kind of what? Letter on it. You use what? This EQN for it. Like you want to solve what? Quadratic equation. You want to solve what? Linear equation. You want to solve what? Cubic equation. Any kind of what? Equation you want to solve on that has to do with variables. You use what? The field button. And 6 buttons for matrix. And I think you all know what matrix is like. Matrix is just like, how will I put it now? Just like a number arranged side by side, horizontal and vertically, for you to what? Solve. So this number 7 years table is used to what? Arrange what? Functions on the table. While the 8th one is what? We help you to what? Perform calculations on what? On vectors. So this is all you need to know about, just for a start on your mode. So now let's go back to what? The mode setup. I told you that for you to go to the mode setup, you press the shift button, which is this, and then you click the mode button and click here. I told you that this mode setup helps you to what? Set your answers, how you want your answers to look like. Like the first thing you wrote MTH10 is what? It's not I call it natural to me. The reason why I call it natural is it will what? Display your answers same way it is written on what? On your textbook. It displays your answer naturally without what? Ambiguity. It makes you to what? See your answers the same way you are inputting it. Then the second one, I call it what? Linear. Yes, they call it linear. If you want your answers to be in a straight line, maybe your answer was to be in a fraction part, but you want it to be in a straight line, so that maybe decimal places, so that you can easily what? Write your answers ago. Then you fix what? You click the number 2. Then this number 3 here is degree. Like if you want your answers to be in degree than any other form, you can choose what? This one. Then this 4 here is for what? Radian. If you want your answer to be in radian, you just click what? Number 4 and go back and do whatever you want to do, and whatever you get will be in radian. This one is for the grad. If you want your answer to be in grad. And this one is called the fis. This fis here is for what? This decimal places. Like sometimes if they give you a question and they ask you to what? Round off that your questions to 3 decimal places, 2 decimal places, 5 decimal places. All you just need to do is just to what? Click this what? This fis here, which is number 6. Click number 6 on your calculator and you take it to your fis. Then there you what? Fis what? How many decimal places you want to what? Make it to be. So, and those number of decimal places ranges for what? From 0 to what? 9 decimal places. Yeah, this number 7 here is for significant figures. Maybe you are given a question and at the end of the day they ask you to what? Make sure put your answer in what? In 2, 3, 4, 5 significant figures. Instead of you to be stressing yourself doing that, you can just fix your answer on what? 7 significant figures. So when you just get your answer will just round up itself to what? The significant figure you choose it to be. And the other one is what? The norm. The norm is not really that important, so I'll just keep it for now. So like the ABC, you can see something like ABC here when you click down on that same setup. So the AB/C is for what? Mixed fraction. Like if you want your answer to be in mixed fraction, you click what? The number 1 here, and this number 2 here is what? Improper fraction. So if you want your answers to be in improper fraction, you choose what? You choose the number 2 here. And this number 3 here is called complex numbers. It stands for complex numbers too. You know that we have seen complex numbers before in our world, in our mode. But what this one here is of 2 use. When you click it, you see what? 2 more functions, which are what? The rectangular function and the polar function. So sometimes you might be given a question, maybe your question will be in what? In a polar form. Then they will ask you to make sure that your answer is in what? In rectangular form. So all you just need to do is just what? Click here, fix your answer in a what? In polar form. At the end of the day, when you just get your answer will just give you what? Polar form. Then you just write it down without what? Wasting what? Your time. Same thing goes for what? These statistics here. This statistics is here also help you to what fix your answer the way you want it to what to look what like, and same as where 5 and 6 are not what that what important. So now coming back to here, I think we should what solve what some calculations, or let me just call it shortcut, like the way you usually call it, with what on what calculation method. So I'll be using my university textbook, the one I'm using in school. You can see my name on it. So this is the one I'm using in school for my year 1. This is what textbook for what Ambuzali University students, help on my year 1 textbook for mathematics, that is the first semester. So we'll be starting from think complex numbers first. Yes, let's start from what complex numbers. So as you can see here, you can see on the topic the word complex number on it. So I won't dwell much on here. We'll just pick up some questions and solve on it. So you can see here I marked some what questions which I want us to what work on. I marked some questions which I want us to what work on. And those questions, you can see that on top one side is complex number and the other one is what complex what conjugate. So sometimes you might be what giving some questions in complex number and they will ask you to what put it in what in to complex what conjugate. So all you just need to do is what you don't need to stress your what yourself. So the first one will be working on let me immediately write it. Let me look for a free space down. So the first one we'll be working on here is the minus 3 plus I4 minus 3 plus I4. Normally on the textbook they wrote what minus 3 plus I4 on it, but in practice there's nothing like minus 3 plus what I4. We only have what minus 3 plus 4I. So what are you meant to do? All you are meant to do is what convert it to what complex what conjugate. So all you just need to do is just to what take your Casio calculator, then you click what your mode button. Number 2 is for complex number. Then you click the number 2. Then when you click the number 2, you take it to what complex what number what function. So when you take it to what the complex number function, then you have to what solve in conjugate. But before we solve on that, then let us go and what fix what our answer. You click your shift button, click the mode button, then you take your what here, then still scroll down. Number 3 is complex number. Then you click on number 3. You can see what the first one is what in rectangular form, which is what a plus bi, and second one is what in polar what form, which what arrow angle to turn. So since we are working on what in rectangular form, we choose our answers to be in what rectangular form, which is what 1. And then what is the next thing to do? To what to find the conjugate of minus 3 plus 4I, you need to what enter the input method. How do you enter the input method? You click what your shift button, and when you click your shift button, on the top of number 2, the frame of 8 on 8, on top of number 2 frame, you can see what it wrote was CNPLS on 8, which was the complex number, stand for complex number. So when you click your shift, you click what the 2, you see something like this will come up. The first one, which is ARG, stand for argument. The second one is for your what your conjugate. The third one is for what your polar form, and the fourth one is for what your rectangular form. Since our question is in rectangular form, what do? Click what number 4 button, and this will display on the screen. Then you just click what your AC to clear it out. So to solve it now, click what minus sign here. You can use this one, you can still use this one, anyone want to use, but sometimes it's advisable to use this one. But let me just use this one here, which is what minus what 3 plus 4. Now to put the I here, you click what the shift button and click what your EN what G button here, then I will come up, press what? Equal to. So you can see that this gave us something back here. Do you know why? I don't think you really know, because I selected what? The rectangular form and not what? The conjugate. So in doing all these things, you might easily what? Make mistakes. This is one of the reasons why I did this mistake, so that I will show you how it is, so that what, when you are doing such things, you don't make mistakes, or what, or your answer will be wrong. So to take it to conjugate form, just press your shift and press the number 2 button. Number 2 is what? For the conjugate. Then this will display on the screen. Then you enter what? Your question, which is what? Minus what? 3 plus 4. And to put your I, like I told you before, you click what? The shift button, you click what? The eng button here, as the engineering notation button, and then what? You close it. And then when you close it, click your equal to sign, then your answer will come up, which is what? Minus 3 minus 4i. Then the conjugate form of minus 3 plus 4i is what? Minus 3 minus 4i. As simple as that. Then our next question here is what again? Minus 5 plus i5. Minus 5 plus i5. Minus 5 plus i5. Like I told you before, in practice, there's nothing like what? R5. We have what? Minus 5 plus 5i. So this is what? The correct form of it. And to take it to conjugate form now, that is because we are converted to conjugate form, we still what? Do what we are doing before. Click what? Your shift button. Then you click what? The 2 button here, number 2 button. And then this will come up. You click the 2. And then you enter what? Your question, which is what? Minus 5 plus 5i. Then close what? Your bracket. Click what? Equals to sign. And the conjugate form of minus 5 plus 5i is what? Minus 5 minus 5i. So you can also see from the textbook, that is the same thing they're also what? Getting from the textbook. Like our first one here, which says what? Minus 3 plus 4i, which give us minus 3 minus 4i. Still the same thing as what? Minus 3 minus 4i, the same thing that's still getting here. So you can still see it that way. So the third one here, which is what? 2 plus i3. Conjugate form of 2 plus i3. 2 plus i3. So we turn it to what? 2 plus 3i. And then we do that. Then click your shift button. Then when you click your shift button, then you click what? Number 2 button. Then when you click the number 2 button, then you click what? The 2 for the conjugate form. And this will come up. Then you click what? Your 2 plus 3. And to put your I, click your shift, your eng button, then you close it. Then when you go click equals to, your conjugate form will now be what? 2 minus 3i. So the conjugate form of 2 plus 3i is what? Is 2 minus 3i. So you can see that this thing is very simple to go through for what? The conjugate what? Form of what? Of complex numbers. So let's listen to some examples on my university textbook here. So I also have another question here. Another question on complex number here. And the question says, find bracket open 5 plus i6 bracket close plus bracket open 4 minus i3 bracket close minus bracket open 8 plus i2 then bracket close plus bracket open 5 minus i4 5 minus i4. So the question is, find what? 5 plus I6 plus bracket open 4 minus I3 bracket close minus bracket open 8 plus I2 bracket close plus bracket open 5 minus I what 4. So you do make sure what you copy from the textbooks or what you are copying or trying to solve is what corresponding to what you would say here, like what I'm doing now. So when you have successfully confirmed that what you are doing here corresponds with what is here, then you come to solve. Then we leave there. Like I told you before, there's nothing like I6 or the imaginary sign before the number. So what you need to do is you interchange, you write it again, which is 5 plus 6I bracket close plus bracket open 4 minus 3I bracket close minus bracket open 8 plus 2I bracket close plus 5. Sorry, you open the bracket first. 5 minus 4 I. You close the bracket. Now this way now your question is correct now. So what do? You make sure that the calculator is in complex mode, because we are still on complex mode. Because of that, my calculation is still on complex mode. So now let's solve this with the calculator now.